Good morning. My name is Norma Yado, and I am the president for the Valley Building Officials Association, better known as VBOA, and I will be your moderator for today. I hope you had your opportunity to get your coffee and situated, which I think you guys had a ample time, so that we can start this webinar. I first want to begin by welcoming everyone to VBOA's first webinar, and hopefully this webinar is one of the many webinars you will be attending in a series of webinars we have planned for this year. I also want to thank everyone that has logged in to our first VBOA webinar. And like I mentioned before, this is a webinar in part of a continuing series of customer service webinars we have planned for this year. So look out for an email announcing our next webinar. I also want to remind all members that you will be earning a 1-hour free CEU for this webinar. We will be sending you a short survey, and once you submit your survey, you will be emailing out the continuing education certificate to all members that submitted the survey. In case you know someone that is a VBOA member and did not have the opportunity to take advantage of earning a CEU this morning, please let them know that they can log in at a later date and view the pre-recorded webinar at their office or home and earn their 1-hour free CEU. They can view the pre-recorded webinar by logging into the VBOA members website. I want to let the participants know that their microphones will be muted during the presentation. However, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type your questions in the text box located in the bottom right-hand corner so your questions can be answered. Today's webinar is Professionalism in the Workplace and will be presented by Ms. Alma Solis. Alma Solis is a housing inspector for the City of McAllen. During her 30-plus years as a housing inspector, she has encountered many situations where professionalism has come into play in her workday. Also, Ms. Solis is a continuing plumbing education instructor for PHCC. With further ado, I present you Ms. Alma Solis. Good morning, Ms. Solis, and thank you for accepting our invitation to present our first webinar of the year.
Good morning, Ms. Norma. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, so we're going to start off here by starting off our professionalism in the workplace. I know we're all professionals.
Ms. Solis, could you tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin?
Oh, sure. I've been with the City of McAllen 30-some years. I've enjoyed, as you all well know, I'm still here. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I am a professional and work with all professionals in this office. And I just want to say that there are times in our day-to-day activities that we probably or maybe have situations where we have clients that are upset with us and possibly we might forget we're professionals. So we just have to think, slow down, think, let them talk, and just continue on with your professionalism. Carry on as a professional.
Okay, well, let's begin with our webinar presentation of this morning, Professionalism in the Workplace.
James Ball, author of Professionalism is for Everyone. And he says that there is no such thing as one job that is to be performed professionally and another that is not. Every job can and should be performed in a professional manner as possible. Any honest work can be done professionally. Professionalism compromises a set of behaviors that make a person behave in an appropriate manner in the workplace and in their personal lives. When a person consistently shows professionalism, they are usually well regarded among coworkers and supervisors. Remember that a worker that has a high level of professionalism is an honest person, hardworking, building credibility, and making themselves a trustworthy employee. Their strong work ethic allows them to put personal issues aside, completing every task asked of them in the allotted time. They can help increase productivity by not wasting time on meaningless tasks, but manage their time wisely, ensuring completion of tasks without compromising quality. The performance objectives of this particular subject. Number one, we're going to be defining professionalism. 2, determine their own current level of professionalism. 3, list the 5 distinguishing traits shared by all professionals. 4, explain how honesty defines character. 5, identify steps to polish their professional appearance. 6, discuss the attributes of a positive attitude and the role that it plays in projecting a professional image. 7, commit to being a lifelong learner. 8, understand that competency includes not only solid work experience, but efficient and quality work habits. 9, relate the role good manners play in a professional conduct. And last but not least, number 10, recognize respect is necessary for appropriate professional conduct.
All right, out of the gate, we have our first poll question. And this is a yes or no question. If you can please submit your answers. Let me just give you the poll question. And the question is professionalism something you leave at the workplace? So please submit your answers. I'll give you some time so you guys can answer. We're almost there. Thank you for participating. So what do you think, Ms. Solis? Should we leave professionalism in the workplace, or is it something that we should do in our every lives? But don't give us an answer yet, Ms. Solis. We're going to give the audience a little bit more time to submit their answers. I think we have a popular answer, and I think it's no. Is that correct, Ms. Solis?
Yes, that is correct. No is the right answer. No, professionalism is something that we carry out throughout our lifestyle, our life. There's 5 distinguishing traits, which are character, your moral or ethical quality, who you are, and what you stand for. Attitude, your manner or your disposition, your mental outlook. Excellence, showing superiority, your commitment to quality. Competency, degree of expertise or skill, your qualifications for the job. And conduct, for personal behavior, how you deal with others. To define character, Character is who you are and when no one is watching. And that's from a Milton Restaurant fortune cookie. That is so true. The next one would be honesty defines character. There are many ways that someone can be dishonest, and stealing is one of them. Stealing can take many forms. For example, materials pilfered from the workplace is considered stealing. Office materials carried home are stolen. Time stolen on work is the same as stealing money, whether it's getting paid for goof off time or adding hours on a timesheet. Remember, everyone, an honest person would never steal.
Ms. Elise, I can think of an example here where honesty comes into play. Like perhaps, somebody clocking in late or not even swiping in. Could you give us some examples of honesty in the workplace?
Examples that I think would be stealing would be where someone takes rims of Xerox rims of paper home for their Xerox machine at home. That's considered stealing. Or some cases, there's municipalities or offices where they provide coffee for your employees, and they have bags of coffee, and that would also be considered, if you take one of those little bags home with you, that would be considered stealing. There's a lot of ways that you could steal office material or office supplies that don't belong to us, and we take them, and we would be taking them home. That would be considered stealing.
Okay, great, Ms. Elise.
Untruthfulness. Truthfulness, while keen to honesty, has more to do with what we say, or in some cases, don't say. Everyone has heard the oath taken on the witness stand. Promise to state the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Remember, lying sometimes doesn't look like a lie as much as an omission or an overstatement. Sometimes it is just misrepresenting the facts.
Well, here we have a Jiddisch proverb, and just a little tidbit for everybody. A Jiddisch is a language that Jews would use before the Holocaust. And one of their proverbs is, a half-truth is a whole lie. There are some modern examples of half-truths. For example, an employee calls in sick when in reality, the reality is that they're going fishing. Maybe some shortcut on an office task is concealed, only to be discovered much later, causing a liability for the employer. Can you guys please submit some examples of half-truths? And in the meantime that we're waiting for everyone to submit their examples, perhaps maybe we can share some half-truths we have witnessed. Not that we have done these things, Ms. Elise, but I know I can give an example while we wait for the audience to submit examples. An employee calls in sick or calls into the office that they will be late due to having car problems. But in reality, their alarm clock didn't go off. I know I've heard that before. Maybe you can share some, Ms. Elise.
Well, I have one. I am just thinking, I know I've read it somewhere or I heard it from somebody. which was saying that they were a really good driver. And in the past 3 years, he says, I haven't gotten a speeding ticket. This statement is true, but it's irrelevant if the speaker started driving a week ago. So that's a half truth. Would be considered a whole lie.
Okay, we have one question here saying your child is sick and they have to take them to the doctor and they just stay at home. Well, that's a real good one. Yeah, that is a half truth. I think that happens a lot in the workplace and we don't really realize it. But I can talk as a supervisor that at times we might have an inkling that might be happening with the employee. But we do need to take their word. But yes, that's a very good example of half truths. Is there anybody else that has perhaps encountered a half truth out there? We're not saying you, but perhaps your coworkers. Okay, well, I guess nobody has ever encountered half truths out there at their jobs. So on to the next one.
Responsibility. Professionals accept responsibility for their actions and are prepared to be held accountable. They can arrive on time, if not early, prepare for their tasks required for that day. A professional diligently completes his or her work ahead of schedule, resulting in cost savings and earning them added respect. Professionals are often the first to volunteer for an assignment or a task, knowing if they master a new skill, they can become more valuable to their company. And that is so true. On professional appearance, remember everyone, projecting a cleaner, sharper, and a little more polished appearance is another trait of a professional. A professional will pay attention to their appearance throughout the day, which would be keeping themselves well groomed, hair combed, hands clean, and uniforms as neat as possible. Can anyone give me an example of what else, or to make yourself look professional? And remember, you portray the company you work for. You don't have a professional appearance. That does not look very professional.
Well, Ms. Solis, talking about uniforms and office attire, at times, and it's the clothes that you wear. I mean, I know that especially nowadays it's very fashionable, and there's certain fashions that come out. Even though it's fashionable, that doesn't mean that it should be worn to the office. So that is something else that maybe the employee could think if they don't wear a uniform, because it seems like this is more like uniform oriented, the examples that were given. But for those that don't have, perhaps maybe they can wear a blazer to work. The men can wear ties. Also, are there any other suggestions you might want to give them, Ms. Solis?
That is correct, Ms. Yado. There are some municipalities and some companies that don't provide uniforms. And not to say that they don't look neat, because they don't. However,
You were saying?
However, so long as we dress properly for an attire for an office setting, if that's what you're working in the office. For example, inspectors, we're out in the field. Those municipalities, they wear uniform. There's sometimes we can look sloppy if we don't iron our uniform, or we don't comb our hair, or we don't polish our shoes. But there's a lot of things that we need to groom ourselves. And there's also the municipalities that don't provide uniforms, and that's okay, because you can still dress professional. Please don't wear those torn jeans that are in style nowadays, which look nice, but not for your job. That doesn't look very professional.
Well, Ms. Solis, I think that we have some examples here. One of them is saying wearing their shirts tucked in. A lot of them tend to, have their shirt tucked out. That's a very good example. Then we have another one, like this is for men. It says keeping those beard trims and groomed. That is so correct. I know, that looks very professional when they have their beards trimmed. Then depending, yes, the clothes might be a little bit tight, that they can't perform their duties, or, being at the office files, or maybe out on the job site. These are all very good examples. Clothes, we just have clothes in general. What does clothes in general mean? Well, I think everybody has pretty much the idea of what it is to have a professional appearance. I mean, we're having from shoes to your clothes, and having your clothes ironed. Are there any other suggestions out there? And that's a very good one at the very bottom where it says your proper shoes. I know as a field person, we need to wear our PPE, and one of them is your safety boots. So if you're a field person, just remember, just trying to keep yourself safe. You need to wear your steel toe boots if that's what your company calls for. But that's a very good one on wearing your proper shoes. So you won't get harm out there. Especially the majority, I would think, that are listening to this webinar are people that work in the construction industry. So that is very important to wear those proper shoes. Well, we have another poll question, and this question is multiple choice. And it says, can you polish your true professional appearance and image by A, tell the truth, admit your mistakes, and avoid being defensive? B, take time to fix your hair, press your uniform, and polish your shoes before going to work? C, arrive early to your scheduled meeting/appointment? Or D, all of the above? So let me give you some time so you guys can, like they say, in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, lock in your answer. So we'll give you some time. We're almost there. We're almost there. I think everybody, there is a popular vote here. Ms. Solis, so which is the answer?
The answer would be D, all of the above.
Yeah. So everybody that answered D is correct. I guess you know what to do to have a true professional appearance and image. Thank you for participating.
On positive attitudes. There is little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. The difference is attitude. And the big difference is whether it is positive or negative. This is by Clement Stone, a businessman who is a philanthropist. And attitudes are simple ways of thinking. Having a positive attitude allows you to approach your work as a professional. Looking for ways to excel in your career. And a positive attitude also allows you to easily adapt a serving mentality. By serving others, by solving problems, helping them with tasks, and performing useful work is one of the ways to ensure success in your career. It's important to remember your attitude in the workplace can sometimes define you more than your work you actually produce. Your coworkers come to see you as someone who is reliable, competent, and intelligent, someone that can rely on. And the work you do, in fact, everything you do is a statement about who you are. This is by Kevin and Jackie Freiberg.
Ms. Solis, that is so true with what you're saying, as the majority of our members are public servants. And since I would think that the majority that are logged in today or this morning, we work for a municipality. So we have to have a positive attitude. That is key to our workday. We just need to remember, especially those that work for a municipality, we need to remember that we are public servants. So having a positive attitude is key. That is so true, Ms. Solis, what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am, you are correct. A lifelong learner. What is a lifelong learner? Learning is about reaching your full potential and can help you achieve self-actualization, the highest need identified by the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Lifelong learning is about creating and maintaining a positive attitude to learning, both for personal and professional development. Becoming a lifelong learner is another trait of a professional. Things you can do to be a lifelong learner are learn basic computer skills, time management, that's a big one, and stress management. Does anyone have any other ones you like to add to our list?
If the audience can please submit other things that they believe they can do to be a lifetime learner. We'll give you some time so you guys can type it in. What other skills, Ms. Solis, do you think? I know that stress management is one. I know you deal with that a lot, especially being a housing inspector. I know that you're out there on the field, and perhaps at times you're having to talk to owners or that their house is not in living conditions, or perhaps a tenant, and this is where they live, and they take pride in their home. However, you know, because of their means, this is where they can live at the time. So how do you handle that stress, Ms. Solis?
Very carefully, Ms. Yalo. It's not easy. But there are steps and it's a process, and that helps a lot. We have a process here in our office, so our ordinances, and that's a big stress reliever. But yes, these people do have their own home and that their own house, and that is their castle. And there's a lot of things the city of McAllen will help them out as much as possible. But yes, it is a big stress reliever, and with our ordinances that we have, and yes, you do get all stressed out in the field by this type of situations.
Yeah, and we have one of our audience is saying that, yes, you do need to be a sponge. You are correct, because from every situation you can learn, not only from every situation, but from everyone you come across. You can learn something new, and that's right. As long as you keep on learning something new every day, you'll continue in the path of being a lifelong learner. Also, yes, we have read more often in your spare time. Yes, that's a very good one. You become more, you educate yourself, and especially us having to do with codes and construction. I mean, if you read the latest on codes, we'll continue educating ourselves and being more informed for our customers. Oh, we have some very good ones. Teamwork in the workplace. That is key also. Let me see, keep educating yourself. Yes, that's what we mentioned. In our profession, we deal with codes that are changing every 3 years, and new technologies are being developed. So we are always having to learn how to apply. Correct. That is so true. Thank you. I mean, you're doing this, passing additional certifications. And I know the majority of us are municipality employees, and this is what we're saying is more to our field. But I know that we do have some that are logged in that are not municipal employees. Perhaps maybe you guys can give us some lifetime learning that you might want to share with us. Okay, I guess we'll go on to
Ms. Yado, I have one that I think I'd like to throw in there. Surround yourself with knowledgeable company, and you can learn from that person.
Yeah, you are correct. We should share your knowledge. Oh my, okay, well, this is coming from someone that is not a municipal employee. That is correct. We do sometimes have individuals that they want to keep their knowledge to themselves, but the more you share it, the more knowledgeable you as an individual become, and you also provide that knowledge to other individuals that might not know that particular topic or subject. But yeah, but that is so true. That is so true. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know and sharing and having a point of view from outside the municipality. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yes, I'd like to share, Ms. Yado, that a lot of my code knowledge I have learned not only from taking exams, but from employees that have shared the knowledge on codes, and that is very important to me, and I've learned quite a bit.
Basically, stop thinking and start doing, just like our last participant said. So yes, you guys are all correct in what you guys are saying.
And remember, there are many ways on how to continue being a lifelong learner. Work experience and work habits. Professionals understand their expertise is directly correlated to their performance on the job. Organizing yourself, your time, tools, and materials will help increase your value Making every hour count is a trait of a professional. Managing your time well will set you apart. Becoming the best that you can be in the field will help establish a reputation as the go-to person when help is needed. On conduct, good manners are ingrained in a professional. Bad manners are both rude and unacceptable in the workplace, or any place for that matter. And we have some examples here. Waiting for your turn, saying please and thank you, apologizing for offenses, keeping others waiting and not apologizing for it, not returning calls, and forcibly steering a conversation in a certain direction and not allowing others to change the topic.
I'm pretty sure if not all our participants have encountered an event or even worked with someone that has these bad manners. Like not apologizing if they have offended someone, or just simply saying please and thank you. I mean, that goes a long way, Ms. Solis.
That is correct.
Is
Right,
there some
ma'am.
other examples, or perhaps maybe our participants can give us some other examples of bad manners? Not that they do these, but if you can just type in, I'm pretty sure everybody has at least one conduct of bad manners that they have experienced in their lifetime. Do you have any, Ms. Elise, other than what you mentioned?
Bad manners.
Yeah.
Listen when others are speaking.
Oh, yes, that's a very good one. Yes. Cutting off someone in their conversation, they're in the middle of their thought, and then they get cut off. We have one. There are three, but the first three are good and the last three bad. I wonder what you mean by that. The last three meaning not returning calls, keep others waiting and not apologizing for it. Well, I think that's good manners. I mean, that would be good manners if you return your calls. I don't see why that would be a bad example, especially in our business. If we keep our customers waiting, I mean, that's bad manners. We need to be returning those calls. I don't see why that would be a bad example, but we keep others waiting and not apologizing for it. Yes, especially when we go to those meetings and we, I guess we can elaborate, and everybody's waiting for that one person to get to the meeting, and then they just come in and don't even apologize for it, for them coming in late. Hopefully that gives clarification to the person that submitted that the last three were bad. But we have another one, getting into others' conversation. That is so true. I mean, that is bad manners. I know sometimes they just interject without not it being part of the group, or not fully understanding the conversation. That is a good example. Any other ones out there? Oh, yes. I guess this individual or this participant, yes, saying hello out on the field, yes. When you're out there, I know, especially for those field personnel, yes, just saying hello. Just keep in mind that when the field personnel, especially those that work for a municipality, and you're going out there to inspect a job site, these workers, they see you as the authority. So by you just saying hello, I mean, that's breaking the ice. That is just going out there and saying, you know what, I am here, we're partnering up with you, and we're here to help each other. So yes, just that simple hello, that in itself, relax the atmosphere. And that is so true. Oh, yes, yes, we said giving people the opportunity to finish their thought and not interrupting. Yes, minding your own business. If they can elaborate on that, I don't know what meaning minding your own business, perhaps conversation part of it, that when it's a private conversation or between two employees, and then another employee might come in and just give their opinion when it's just a conversation between two people. Perhaps maybe that's what they're talking about there. But yes, those are very good examples of conduct out there. But I really like the one saying hello out in the field. That is very key, especially to field personnel. And I guess I'm more keen into it because I'm the supervisor for the inspectors. And that is something that, we do tell our inspectors out there on a daily basis. Just remember, that hello, and just like, Mr. Vasquez says, extend that hand, shake their hand and say good morning. That goes a long way. So yes, we really do agree with that. We have another one, always saying good morning and asking questions, have communication with the workers out in the field. Yes, yes, that's what we're talking about. Yes, and trying to build that partnership with those contractors. Yes, we do need to do a better job. And I think that the majority of the attendants have a good handle on this, Ms. Elisa, on the conduct.
Yes, you're right, Norma. Salutations not only to your out in the field, but when you get to the office in the morning, a good morning salutation to your employees, to your coworkers, is also being a professional. That would also be very helpful when you walk into an office and you say good morning or good afternoon or hello, or that a salutation just breaks the ice.
Thank you, and we do apologize, but we got disconnected, but we're back on. Thank you so much for your patience. So as we were saying, conduct in the workplace. Let's continue with the next slide.
Practical jokes. Professionals know and recognize that there is a time and place for everything. Inappropriate humor does not belong in the workplace. Make sure that humor never excludes anyone and causes people to become distracted because they're feeling bad. Certainly keeping the vibe in the workplace light by using appropriate humor. Something that surprises and leaves people feeling good is one of the tools you want to use regularly to create a workplace that engages and energizes.
Well, we're at our next poll question. And this is a true or false question. And it says, inappropriate practical jokes in the workplace keeps the environment professional. Well, I guess it is a yes or no. I do apologize. I thought it was a true or false. It's a yes or no question. And if you can please submit your answers. I know some of, okay, we're almost there. I think half of you have submitted your answers. We're waiting for the other half. So if you can please submit your answers. Well, what do you think, Ms. Elise? Inappropriate practical jokes in the workplace keeps the environment professional.
No.
What do you think?
No, it doesn't keep the environment professional. That is very unprofessional to make jokes in the workplace that could offend somebody else. They're offensive.
Yeah, you're very right. I think that sometimes when you have this banter between employees and you think it's fine, but sometimes you cross that line. Employees cross that line between a friendly banter to now it becomes inappropriate. So yeah, everybody that answered yes is correct. So yeah, on to our next one, which is anger, Miss Elise.
Professionals know how to control their temper, realizing anger and rage are never the proper response. It shows their adult inhibiting common sense and good taste. So what are some things you can do to control your temper, not just in the workplace, but at home as well? Ms. Norma?
Well, I guess our audience can also participate in this, Miss Elise, but I know one for me is having a positive attitude. But once I know you get those boiling points going sometimes, uh, but I guess we go back to when we were young and we were told by our parents, count to 10. I think that really helps you. I mean, if you count 1 to 10, oh, I guess another of our participants feels the same way. He was taught the same thing, that he needs to count to 10. But I think that that is so true. I mean, once you start counting to 10, you start realizing that, oh, okay, calm yourself down, calm yourself down. And sometimes I know another thing that uh, at the time where the situation is going, instead of continuing the discussion, I rather just take a break, just like, I told my son, you know what, okay, let me just walk away. I know sometimes with my son, I get to those points where I get a little bit frustrated and I just tend to walk away, just give myself some time, and space, and then reflect on the whole situation. And once I have done that reflection, then I come back and then address the issue. But yes, I don't know, we have another one here. Talk it over with an imaginary friend. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that could also work. I mean, if you do have that imaginary friend out there, uh, you can talk. You can talk with that imaginary friend, and well, and I guess I mean, I know we find some humor in imaginary friend, but sometimes we, if you role play, but that could be a little bit dangerous because sometimes I know when I role play in my mind, I can get very imaginative as to what the situation can escalate to. But that's a very good one. What's this one say? Owasa? Owasa. Or yeah, or sometimes don't say anything at all. Yes, that's correct. Uh, yes, I like this one. Not avoid taking situations as a personal matter. Yes, don't take it personal. That's a very good one. Yes, don't take things too hard. Those are very good examples. I mean, let's see another one. Think before you act. 9 times out of 10, your initial reaction is led by emotion and not rational thinking. Oh, that is so true. That is so true. Oh my God, Miss Elise. I mean, all of these attendants have very good examples. What's another one? Just breathe and think about what you're going to say instead of just responding in reaction. So true. Uh, I guess a lot of our audience have been in these situations that they're experts now in anger, that they have, been in situations where they've gotten to that point where they're about to get anger and they've practiced all of this. But all of these are very good examples. Thank you so much for participating. We really appreciate it. But yes, Ms. Elise, they are correct in what they're saying. Do you have anything else, Ms. Elise, that you want to add on to anger? Other examples aside from the ones that were shared with us?
No, well, that's mostly the ones that a few of them that I thought of. Just excuse yourself and walk away and talk about whatever the situation or the case may be a little later to diffuse your anger.
Okay, from anger, we go to respect, Ms. Elise.
Showing respect for others, regardless of race, nationality, abilities, physical attributes, and mental capabilities is another trait of a professional. And diversity is a good thing for a company. Diversity would be a good thing for a company for the simple reason that it leads to more innovation, more opportunities for all, and better access to talent and better business opportunities. Our next slide on confidentiality. A personal employee will keep private, proprietary, and social information confidential, knowing that your organization's success can be compromised if information.
So what are some examples of private information that should be kept confidential, Ms. Elise? I don't know. To me, that would be probably, perhaps it could be your salary. That would be like,
That is
private
correct.
information. How about disciplinary action that the employee has been taken?
Sure, that would be one too as well. Salaries, medical records.
Oh, yes, that is so true. Yes, I agree. The other question, and what are some examples of social information that should be kept confidential? Now, that's a little bit hard for me. I don't know. Nowadays, it seems everything goes. So I don't know, what would be some examples of social information?
Well, Ms. Norma, some examples that I know of would be health and social work records. That would be a good record that should be kept confidential. Bid contracts on companies that acquire bid contracts for construction, for whatever the reason could be. Also, as well, there's the social media posts, not exclusively for the public. That would have to be kept confidential as well.
Oh, okay. That's what I don't know. I mean, to me, I don't know if the audience probably has some examples on social information that should be kept confidential, or on private information. And how about gossip? In the meantime that we are waiting for our audience to participate in giving us some examples on private information and social information, how about gossip plays, does gossip play a role here, Ms. Elise?
It sure does. It sure does, Ms. Norma. It plays a big role. If you, for example, expose something to the social media that's not supposed to be for social media, that would go like wildfire.
Yeah, you are so correct. But that's what I'm saying, that it was so, I mean, that is an example that is so hard, because nowadays it seems that everything is fair game. And once it's out there regardless if it's true or not. It'll stick. And then it's so hard to retract that information.
To retract all that information.
Yes,
Yep.
you are so correct. So yeah, I think that that's another form of gossip, like you're saying. I mean, it's not verbal gossip, but once you put it out there in your social media, now it becomes true. So yes, I mean, let's see what we have here. I don't know, if you can take the heat. Well, I don't know what that means. Stay out of the heat. Let's see. I can see we all have practiced keeping their cool. Yeah, gossip should be kept out of the workplace. Yeah, I think that is so true. I wonder who posted that. Doesn't have the person, but yeah, I think that gossip should be in the workplace. So let's see. But yes, you guys, the audience, does have some very good, examples of that. So I guess in conclusion, Ms. Elise, we're almost at the end.
Yes, the importance of professionalism in the workplace cannot be overlooked as a key to personal success and advancement. Personal success being what you strive for all your life. And with that said, we come to the conclusion of this particular subject. And remember,
Okay, we're sorry about that, but we're back on. So, if you guys, if at this point the audience has any more questions that we haven't been able to ask, if you can type them in and Ms. Solis will answer those questions. But in the meantime that we're waiting for all the other questions, we would like to thank you for attending and also bearing with us, being that it's our first webinar. And I know we had some technical difficulties, you know, at the beginning and throughout our webinar. We really appreciate it. But I guess we don't have any questions, Ms. Elise. But if you do, you can email us. Just remember, if you can't think of any questions right now and you have a question that you would like to be, your question to be answered, you can mail us at, here's Ms. Elise's email address. Oh, well, first I would like to say that this resource came from PHCC Continuing Education course, Professionalism in the Workplace. It was a webinar that was presented by Ms. Elise some years back. But if you have any questions that you feel that you haven't, that hasn't been answered, you can email Ms. Elise at asolis@mccallan.net, or you can call her at 681-1300, and she would be more than glad to assist you with those questions. Again, I would like to thank Ms. Elise for doing this presentation and being the first one, the pioneer in our webinar for VBOA. We really appreciate it. So thank you, Ms. Elise.
thank you for allowing me to do this presentation. And thanks everyone for attending.
So, and also keep in mind, we are going to have another presentation coming. We're doing these quarterlies. It takes some time for us to get prepared. So our next one should be at the end of June, and I think we're going to do attitudes. But if you have any other suggestions as to what topics you would like for us to do a webinar on when it comes to customer service, if you can just email me. My email is nayado@mccallan.net, and we will look into it and start preparing one of those presentations. We hope that you've enjoyed our first webinar, and hopefully you can continue attending these webinars this coming year. So with that, thank you so much. I would also like to thank Mr. Eddie Pastor. He's our technical support here. And without him, we couldn't have done this. So we really do want to thank Mr. Eddie Pastor at this time, and also his assistant, Robert Rodriguez. He also helped out in this presentation. So thank you so much for assisting us. And again, thank you, Mrs. Solis, and we'll see everybody. So have a good day. Thank you.
Once again, thank you.